Okay. It seems I can't get guys because I'm a female engineer. I'm 20. Recently graduated with a bachelor's in chemical engineering, working full-time for 2 months. I'm single and looking for a man. I don't know why I did that. And looking for a man.
You trying to find a man, honey?
Yeah, you do what you gotta do, girl. As it happens, I haven't been with anyone since I was 17. I began to seriously look after I finished school and started using apps for the first time. All of my profiles say that I'm a chemical engineer, but guys don't seem to see it, and they seem to lose interest once they find out. This past Friday, I went on a Bumble date with a 22-year-old male, and what happened left me in shock. I thought things were going great at first. He told me he worked at Starbucks, and I responded with a horny/corny joke to let him know I was into him and his workplace as well. Then, he asked me what I did. This is the part where things got really weird. After I told him I was an engineer, he said, quote, "No, you're not. You literally look like Lauren Southern. Do you waitress or something?" End quote. I said, quote, "I'm a chemical engineer, and if you tell me I don't look like one, I'll end this date right now." End quote. He said, "I have to go to the bathroom real quick." End quote. Sorry, I didn't even begin that quote. Then he got up and walked straight to the exit door and left me in a restaurant by myself. Needless to say, it was humiliating. Other guys will often just stop talking to me when they find out I'm an engineer, before we meet in person. I'm talking about guys who were calling me gorgeous and stuff before. Do a lot of guys dislike female engineers or women in particular professions? How should I deal with this and find a good man?
Okay. Seems like she's looking for men in the wrong places.
Yeah.
Or picking the wrong dudes.
Because if I was...
douchers.
If I was a... What are you pointing at?
You gotta be close to the mic. You're way away.
Sorry.
Yeah, I would be like, "You're a chemical engineer? Fucking, here's my ring, put it on."
You'd be like, "Buy this ring so I can put it on."
I'll pay you in installments.
Yeah.
It seems like she's just attracting douchers, or that's who she's matching with on these dating
Or
sites.
just people that are intimidated.
Well, I mean,
She also kind of sounds like a little bit like a bitch.
Well, I get why she was like, "Oh, if you say I don't look like one, I'll end this date right now," because a lot of female engineers get that a lot, and it really
Well,
is
she could
irritating.
have phased it in a joke. It came off really
irritated.
At least the way you read it came off.
I get
rude.
being irritated if, yeah, you know what, like...
But it's just, I mean, Go ahead, say your piece.
I was just going to say, like, yeah, of course, like, you're more than just your beauty. Maybe the way the guy came off was like, "You're way too pretty to be like that smart." Or maybe he actually was being more of an asshole than how she wrote it.
But I don't think that dudes ever say it to mean it that way. But it's always taken that way. That, "Oh, you're too pretty to be smart." I don't think any guy ever says it that way. They're just...
Any guy? I think there are guys that will say it.
Okay, we're getting into fucking semantics. Most guys, obviously. Okay. You know, there's 7 billion people. Obviously, some fucker did it. Sorry. Go ahead.
Or a lot of fuckers. I don't know.
A lot of...
I think, yeah, you're still 20. There's probably a lot of other things going on, and also with their lives too. Most people in their, especially early 20s, aren't doing really well with their lives or themselves. But I mean, as far as them like being intimidated by that, like maybe just take a step back from yourself and maybe view how you're acting yourself in the situations, as well as how the men or the boys that you're talking to are reacting in your dates or what have you. Because that's another thing, is that like you're still young. Keep playing the dating field. Maybe even look for, I hate saying this, like older or more mature people, or just people who have just more forward thinking. Because if people are getting actually like turned, if you think people are actually getting turned off by you because you're an engineer, I feel like that's weird. It's like you're, just because you have a career already doesn't mean people are getting turned off by you. Like something else might be going on.
Well, in this particular story, I think he fucked it up first by saying, no, you're not. You literally look like Lauren Southern. Do you waitress or something? So totally just disregarded her I'm an engineer statement.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, when you say that by itself in a vacuum, it's easy for us to just deem that dude a piece of shit.
Yeah. Well,
right?
yeah.
But we don't know how the rest of the conversation was going.
Yeah.
It could have, he could have just been like, no fucking way. You look like Lauren Southern. What, you're like a waitress or something. And it could have been like kind of like a, kind of joking around flirty thing or whatever. But then if she's internalizing this idea that, you don't think because of the way I look, you don't think I'm smart enough to be an engineer, and then clap back in a way that he was like, okay, well, fuck, sorry. And then it could have been maybe some stuff internalized in him where he might have been like, yo, like, maybe a little bit of intimidation came into play, but especially just because of the way that it kind of happens a lot. Women who are established, when they're talking to somebody that they feel like is less established, they do kind of don't give them as much respect sometimes. And then maybe if that's not true of what she was doing, this guy could have felt that way, and then like, if she really is like up there, has her shit together, and this is how she's going to treat me, maybe I don't want to be about it, and then dipped.
And that's future headaches I'm avoiding right now.
Yeah. So, I mean, not to put all the blame on her or whatever, there definitely probably dudes, especially if you're early 20s, that are intimidated.
Yeah.
Right? But I think that the most likely thing is that you're looking at shitty places. If you're looking at people in their early 20s on dating sites, a large majority of them are fuck boys. Not majority, but a good percentage of them are fuck boys. And then when you tell them how established you already are in your 20s, it just comes off as that you probably are likely looking for
a relationship.
And for some of those fuckboys, they're like, oh shit, they're just attributing your intellect and smarts at being able to get your engineering degree so early that they're not going to be able to run their game and their goofy trickery with you because you know what's up because you're smart enough to get your degree early. So in which case you're dodging a bullet anyway.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the game you have to play. And I kind of agree with Henry where, I wouldn't want to, be like, oh, you should just go after older men type of thing. Because that's the thing is that I feel like girls, after 3 or 4 bad experiences, scrap the whole heap of dudes. Like, in whatever category that they break it up in, like, oh, dudes in their 20s fucking suck. Off of 4 guys, right?
Yeah.
And if you're meeting a guy who's also like, if you were probably dating other engineers, it probably wouldn't be a problem. What?
Maybe you would have to find that one engineer that's not like what you were just describing, fuckboyish.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of engineering students aren't, or I don't know, a lot of them aren't super fuckboyish, or they would at least have an understanding of the curriculum and like have some admiration towards the fact that you were able to get your degree early.
It's funny. Did you guys see
know how hard it is?
That TikTok that it actually very much so goes into this whole female engineer thing. There's a TikTok where this female engineer is in an engineering class. She's the only female in like the whole class. All the guys were like making rape jokes and stuff.
Oh, okay.
It was on the news too.
Where?
I'll pull it up.
Yeah. I mean, then again, also the 3 of us live in, I don't know if we have our own little vacuum where these types of things don't occur with the people that we hang out with.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Or like,
No, I would
guys
never.
that we know and hang out with don't do these kind of things. Or the ones
I
that
would-
do,
I would
we,
hope so.
we excommunicate.
I mean, I don't know what all of our friends have done that we still talk to, what they've done in the past, so I can't say that. But I mean, like,
But at least who they are now is very against any of that type of stuff. At the very least,
for the most part, I would hope so.
yeah.
I would very much hope so. But I don't know. Dating in general is just fucking hard.
It is
A good
hard.
man is hard to find. A good woman is hard to find.
But
that's
also-
the thing, is that like you're trying to find that matching puzzle piece to your puzzle piece.
Yeah.
But you're still very young.
Yeah.
Like if you're just looking to get some P in your V,
Then just
just-
play it that way. Then-
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and you don't need to let people. If that's your aim, then you don't need somebody who accepts your occupation or the fact that you're smart or whatever. So just take it off your dating profile.
Yeah.
If you're, I mean, there's a lot of variables because sometimes people are upset that certain dating things aren't going well for them, and then they're chalking it up to that a certain thing. But then it's like, yo, you're looking for dudes who look like Abercrombie models. The likelihood that guy is gonna be mildly misogynistic and like kind of a piece of shit is higher than if you were looking for somebody who look like he tells or does TED Talks about tech.
It's like, girl, I throw balls far. If you want nice words, date a languager.
I'm curious if she's looking for someone who has similar interests in her. Like, why? Maybe there's another engineer she might be.
I mean,
Well, she's also very like
Is she picky?
inexperienced when it comes to the dating world because she did admit that the last time she was with somebody when she was 17.
yeah, and that's the other thing. Yeah, is the best.
But yeah.
The best, especially since you're young, you don't need to find a forever suitor now.
Yeah.
If you're looking for somebody who is most likely to be that, you shouldn't. The best thing for you to do is whatever your whatever your other interests are. Like the person doesn't even have to be an engineer. You don't have to have that in common. But whatever your other interests are, go do those, and you have the money because you're fucking have a job,
Raking in the dough.
a good ass engineering job at 20, chemical engineer. So go do, like, become part of those communities. So if you're into rock climbing or tennis, go join clubs doing that, and you're gonna find people who can who are gonna relate to you on a different level, and then you can relate to them on that level. And then when it comes up organically that you're an engineer, that person already shares something with you, and then if they're interested, that's only going to make them more interested. Rather than, because that is kind of the difficulty of the online dating thing, is that everything starts cold.
Yeah, there's no
So you're
bridging
searching,
of gaps.
yeah. So you're searching for the bridges with each other, and then in search of those bridges, there's so many things that can go wrong before you get there. And if something goes wrong before you get there, then the date usually gets fucked up or creates different moods. So it becomes like a game of timing and strategy. Whereas if you decide to go on a date on somebody that you've already established a relationship with based on something else, it clears a lot of that stuff, because you could already be like, oh, so what got you into tennis?
Yeah.
Oh, I decided to start playing tennis. I started playing when I was a kid, and then I hadn't played in a while, and I decided to join a club. I was like, oh, that's cool, blah blah. And then from there, you get to expand on who each other is, but all the like little like figuring out who each other's, or how each other's like general kind of attitude that's already gone, because you guys have been in the same space together, have had some kind of rapport with each other to where you decided to go out on a date. So you got the money, join a club in an interest that you're interested in.
Don't try and find love at the club.
Oh no, I didn't say that.
That is
Yeah,
what you're saying.
don't go to the club. Join a club.
Join a club.
Yeah,
don't go to the club.
Double down on your outside interests, and you'll meet people there.
Yeah.
Exactly how you said. And also,
Because Evelyn jumped into the motorbike thing, and
yeah,
I mean
now she's doing a U.S.
It
tour.
took her a few crashes, and then she's good. She's got a man.
See, she got into that, and then she
Had.
crashed, and then the EMT that came to help her out was like,
Another
oh,
way.
That's
when
one way.
she took off her helmet, like, oh, I think my arm's fucked up.
And then you got the hair.
And then she flicks the
The
hair,
hair
and he's
whip.
like, what the fuck? I was expecting Diesel Danny, but instead I got Evelyn.
I saw the gears turning.
Well, for some reason, I don't know. I like went into Japanese for half a second of the name, and then I didn't commit. And then I was just thinking in my head, like, what the fuck was that? Because I was like, Evelyn.
Evelyn. Oh shit.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
and that's a whole nother thing too. You're at an age where commitment is a very hard thing to try and get people to do.
Yeah. Both male
Fuck,
and
even
female.
I feel like just generationally, it's just getting harder and harder to commit to things because talking about like all the different hobbies and people that are interested in different things, especially when you're starting cold on a first date, you're trying to lay the foundation to those bridges for those different interests. It's like, you know, we were talking about anime earlier. If you're on a date with somebody and like you love anime and you find out that they don't like anime, this is kind of like them.
That's a red flag for Alexander.
You see, that's
Yeah.
but it's not though, because you could be that person that introduces them to anime.
But if
because
they
if that
say
was a
they
red
hate
flag
anime.
for Alex,
Yeah, that would
well,
be a
that's
better
a
way.
different story. They took the time to know what it is, and they're just like, fuck that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
if someone says they've never watched it, that's fine. But if you say, like, oh, I hate cartoons.
It's
I
for
hate
plebes.
anime.
So
It's
it's,
for
not a
kids.
red
Plebeians.
necessarily a red
plebeians.
flag, but
That's a
it's
red
like
flag.
not everyone is
Yeah.
wants to start building those bridges, or they don't want to start making those foundations. Like they don't want to commit the time or effort anymore to getting to know this person, and that's that you kind of have to listen to that old theory of opposites attract, because that means you're just going to learn a lot more within this type of relationship on some aspects.
Yeah.
And other aspects, people are more looking for like, oh, I want to date this person who has all the same interests as I do. It's going to be
Well,
boring
it's gonna be
faster.
hard,
Well,
and it's
you-
going to be hard to find
Well,
somebody
I
because
mean-
you already have a list of things that you have to check off.
Wait.
And if there's
So it's a combination
Wait,
of the two.
I
It's
feel
a,
like
it's a
you
different.
can't have too many opposites because then you guys never get along on
yeah,
anything.
exactly.
yeah,
But
it's a-
you can't also look for somebody that
It has
every single thing
Yeah.
because
You don't
want to
date a yes man.
Well, wait. If you guys have all the same interests, I don't necessarily think I don't think that that's boring if you have cool interests. If both of you only have two interests and they're both boring interests, like I like to watch movies and play video games, then your guys' interactions are probably going to be
But
Could
why
be
is
boring.
that boring? If that's
well.
the
But
only
the,
thing
or
they
well,
like?
if you guys can always be talking about movies, I don't know. I think it's also people's personalities coupled with how they want to operate with the other person.
That's true.
Because some people who want to be with their person all the time, if they have all the same interests, that's kind of a plus. People who like to have space from them, it benefits them to have different interests so that both of them have something to do. So the other one's not just chilling, waiting for you to be done with your class or whatever. And then when you get back, they're all on you because they missed you. And that's, difference in love languages and stuff like that.
It's called clinginess.
But I feel like, because her and I have a lot of some different interests or diverging interests, but then we have so many of the same ones. But then I think the biggest thing that brings us together is that how the way that our interests manifest are the same. So we're very hot cold with so when we're into something, we go hard, and we're both very competitive. But then we get lucky where our intensity pushes each other along rather than we're converging, going at each other with our intensity. So we got lucky in that way. But we both, I think we bond on our mutual intensity of an interest that we share.
Yeah.
So we're
we
like,
become
oh shit.
obsessed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'd be like, oh, did you watch the first episode of this anime? Yeah, it was pretty good. What? And then we're
Fuck, it's the challenge time.
yeah,
Oh,
it's,
yeah. Hey,
yeah,
we've got
yes.
2 people in now.
Yeah, so
We have a challenge club.
we share
Yeah.
a heavy intensity. we share a heavy
Don't tell
intensity for
Elizabeth
the
that.
challenge.
She's in it.
Oh,
Yeah, dude.
She's a new member.
yeah, that's what I was saying.
And then even with the tennis thing, like right now we're big into tennis, and we're going. Our intensity is the same, and we're going so hard on it.
You want to find that partner in crime.
Yeah.
To be the best you while not changing you at the same time. It's a lot of acceptance and having someone that goes with you through that. But back to the girl said at point of Reddit. Maybe her dating pool is really small. Maybe she's a racist and doesn't want, and she's narrowing down her numbers game.
Well, okay.
What if she's uber specific and she's all like, I only date
That's what that does
Polynesian
happen a
men,
lot, and they don't.
and I live in the Midwest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we do. I mean, we just don't have that
Yeah.
information.
But I mean, yeah, but that's something that
No, I'm
that I
kidding.
do feel that happens too. Is that they already narrowed down everything because they're like, oh, well, I'm looking for
Yeah.
Yeah.
6'3", blonde, rugged.
Oh, I'm sorry. You have everything on my list, but you're not blonde. Sorry, it's not going to work out.
Yeah, a lot of girls do have these lists, but to come possibly to not necessarily to her defense, but to maybe give her some insight or give some general insight. We don't know where she lives, so we're saying this from the perspective of Californians, where here being a female engineer doesn't disqualify you. Like most,
need more.
A lot of guys out here, you can easily find somebody who would be really down with it, even if they were a Starbucks employee.
Yeah.
Like there's some of this. I mean, yeah, you would be fine here, but if
She's the
you're in
breadwinner.
Tennessee or like maybe certain parts of Texas, where the men there still operate off of arcane ideologies of a woman's position in the relationship,
Hierarchy.
and they feel like you're doing better than them, then I would imagine that it makes sense that they would be threatened. Not that I mean
Yeah.
that they're. I'm not excusing that. They're little pussy bags, but
Yeah, that's like the lamest, like. I was gonna say something stupid. Yeah, that's a really fucking stupid bravado move that I feel like needs to be flipped. I'm completely fine being a trophy husband or a house husband.
Yeah.
bringing
Well, I
bring
think
home the gravy, baby.
that's something that
I'll get
I also
abs.
think that's kind of bullshit. Is like a lot of these dudes who want, if you want to be, I mean, generally male artists wouldn't be or wouldn't have an issue, but I would imagine like if I was I guess kind of as a male artist myself, if I had a woman or a girlfriend who already had a booming career since she was 20 years old, I wouldn't want to like to make it seem like I was trying to leech off of her, like, oh, let her make the money or whatever. But if you can accept that the money that I'm bringing in is going to be spotty until it gets good as an artist, and you're okay with bringing in the money, and then we have a mutual understanding of that, and I am working. I'm not like a bum, right?
Yeah.
I'm
You're not
working
at
on my
home.
craft. I'm moving forward, and you can respect that.
You're making moves.
And you're
Then
keeping the house
why
clean.
why wouldn't you want that as a guy?
Yeah.
Like, if we're trying to get equal, you have to accept the equality too as a dude. If you're like saying like, oh shit, equal everything, we got to have that equality, and then a woman comes to you and is like, yo, I don't care that you're a Starbucks employee. Yo, I'm making 6 figures already, but you're cute. And as long as you're moving forward and trying to do something, I'm here to support you.
Yeah.
You're going to pass up that deal off of some bullshit machismo?
No, man.
You're the idiot of the day.
Yeah.
You need to check the comments because I think someone said that they were actually on the date with her, and she proposed
No.
pegging after the first date. I think
Hey,
that's
man,
what threw him off.
Yeah.
Hey, sometimes you just got to take it in the ass to be able to get everything that you want in life.
To each their
right?
own. I don't kink shame either, man. It's like, what's up with these people
Yeah,
nowadays?
dude.